Chapter 1. The Mission.
They never really talked to one another. They had never been on a mission together until now. Winston assigned them to find a Talon member by the name of Sombra. She was a sneaky snake with the ability to hack anything. She would be hard to find. Jesse, McCree, and Hanzo Shimada were called into Winston's office. McCree arrived later than Hanzo. Winston looked up from his papers to see McCree closing the door behind him.
Jesse, I'm sure you've met Hanzo Shimada by now.
McCree looked at Hanzo sternly.
Yeah, we've run into fuck. I can't do. Yeah, we've run into each other a couple of times.
McCree said.
Never really got the chance to properly introduce myself.
McCree held his hand out to Hanzo.
Hanzo, right?
Hanzo looked at Jesse sternly. He turned away with a dismissive humph, not wanting to shake his hand. McCree pulled his hand away.
Please, have a seat.
Winston said boldly. Jesse sat in front of the desk.
What's up, boss?
I'm assigning you both on a very important mission. Time isn't really a necessity, so feel free to take as long as you need. You will both be assigned to You will both be assigned to look for this Talon agent.
Winston threw a file in front of them. The two of them stared at the file of a small Mexican girl with an evil look on her face.
Who is she? Oh no,
Hanzo
no.
asked,
Who is she?
Oh, his face. Who is she? Please, I can't do it so much. I keep gonna cry. Who is she?
Hanzo asked, looking up at the gorilla. Winston repositioned his glasses and leaned back in his seat.
Her name is Olivia Colomar, aka Sombra. She's a professional hacker and most likely has lots of info involving Overwatch. We need her back here Why is alive capitalized?
Alive.
Alive! We need her back here alive with few casualties, but preferably none. This one will be under wraps, so don't tell the police if they ask you about it.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Fucking
sir.
Zelly! Oh my fucking god, Zelly, I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh!
Zelly, just say yes, sir, and he'll fucking splice it together. Yes,
Yes, sir.
This file is only knowledge we have of her. I'm sorry I couldn't find anything else.
Winston said.
It's okay, boss. We'll find her, don't you worry.
Jesse said proudly. Winston nodded.
Good luck.
Jesse looked over at Hanzo, playfully hitting his arm.
Come on, partner. We gotta find this hacker.
Hanzo gave another dismissive grunt before standing and following McCree through the door. McCree eagerly opened the file to see the last known whereabouts of Sombra. Hanzo followed behind him.
Hey, Hanzo. I'm excited for this mission. I'm a little upset we haven't properly met before. You're so cool and edgy. No!
Okay.
McCree said, trying to be encouraging.
Let me make this clear, cowboy. You stay out of my way, and we will get along just fine.
Hanzo said sharply.
He sounds like he's fucking gooning.
Straight to the point, then.
McCree said.
This says that Sombra was last seen at Hanamura.
All of a sudden, Hanzo's eyes went wide. He grabbed the file from McCree.
No! We got...
It's okay. I
got
love
it,
the
you got
effort.
it.
I love the effort.
No! We cannot go there!
Hanzo said sternly.
Why not, Hans?
Is none of your concern.
Then you don't mind, then, if we went there?
What?
You just said not to be concerned, so there's nothing to worry about if we head over there. I'll get a jet ready.
McCree said.
No, that's not... What? God, that idiot.
Hanzo said, following McCree to the garage. They began loading it with supplies. McCree packed a small bag with extra clothes and cigars. He looked up to see Hanzo with two large bags and stared at them shocked.
Why so much damn luggage, partner?
Ponta, actually.
Why so much damn luggage, partner?
I acquire my kimonos. The other case has my bows and arrows.
Hanzo looked down at McCree's small bag.
And you? Don't you acquire weapon?
Jesse pulled out his peacekeeper, then held his bag out.
This is all the clothes I need.
Hanzo sighed and boarded the jet with his luggage. McCree started up the jet and they took off to Hanamura. They arrived. McCree looked around at the beautiful surroundings. Hanzo came up behind him, looking out the window. You could tell McCree was admiring it.
Very peaceful looking, isn't it?
Hanzo said. McCree nodded.
Didn't you live here at one point?
It took a minute for Hanzo to answer.
Midnight.
Midnight. Miniti.
You have to say Manite. Say Manite. Say it.
Miniti.
It took a midnight for Hanzo to answer.
Yes, but I can never go back.
Let me guess. It's none of my business.
McCree suggested.
You guessed correctly, McCree.
They landed not far from the Shimada estate at a motel. They wandered around the marketplace. Hanzo glanced over at McCree and noticed him pickpocketing people in the plaza. He had the stupidest grin on his face.
You shouldn't steal, Jesse.
Hanzo said quietly.
Well, someone's got to pay for our meals.
McCree said cheerfully. They walked past the sushi bar. Hanzo stopped it. Bro, your fucking country accent is fucking.
It's awful.
It's rubbing on me.
They
No, it's
walked
rubbing
past
on
a
me.
sushi bar.
They walk past the sushi bar.
They walked past a sushi bar. Hanzo stopped to admire it.
I used to love going here during the New Year.
Hanzo said, staring at the buildings blankly. It had a large neon sign in Japanese. The building was decorated with all kinds of lanterns and lights. Small paintings were scattered across its walls. McCree looked over at him.
Want to go in?
Hanzo looked down, trying to show no emotion.
Maybe later. We need to focus. Where is the file?
McCree pulled out the file. There was a blurry picture of Sombra walking through this very plaza. She spoke to a lady at one of the booths. The two began by going to each booth, showing the picture of Sombra. Many of the vendors hadn't seen her come by. There was a strange man that was leaning up against one of the buildings. He looked to be a teen. Hanzo began speaking to him. McCree looked over to the guy, nodding to Hanzo, and pointed across the plaza to the Shimada estate. McCree and Hanzo both looked towards the buildings. Hanzo's eyes went wide before turning back to the kid and nodding.
So?
Hanzo looked at McCree sternly.
So what?
What'd the kid say, partner?
What I feared?
Hanzo stayed focused.
Hold
He
on.
crossed
Say it with
his
more
arm.
emotions, Ellie.
Yeah, I agree. Come on, Zelly.
Because
You're good.
I have to say it like that because I can't be lower when I speak.
No, just say
This
it
is
with
my
your-
lowest voice.
Just what I feared, you know? Like, just to have fear.
You gotta
in
be
it.
scared. Come on.
What I feared.
Okay. What I feared.
No. That was so monotone.
Enzo doesn't have emotion. He's always fucking sad and depressed and edgy, okay?
There's a difference
What I
between
fear.
Hanzo being no emotion and you being French. Come on.
Um,
Try again one last time and we'll do this as the last.
what I feared. Bro,
It's
I
okay.
swear.
We got it.
Wait, it's good enough. It's good enough. Go on, go on. Go on, Mitzers.
Hanzo said focused. He crossed his arms, staring down in the plaza at the Shimada estate.
Do we gotta go in there?
Not necessarily.
But didn't the kid say that's where he saw Sombra go?
He did.
Like, can you get us in there, Mr. Shimada?
McCree said, grinning sly-like. Hanzo turned his head, grunting under his breath dismissively.
Don't dishonor my name, Jesse McCree.
Wasn't trying to, Arrow boy.
Hanzo again giving a dismissive grunt before walking towards the motel, McCree falling behind him. They opened the door to their room. They both looked around at the small space. Hanzo looked over his shoulder, scowling at McCree.
You couldn't get anything bigger?
McCree tilted his hat back.
This was the only one they had left, Hanzo.
Very well.
They both stepped inside, getting a better view of the space. Their eyes both turned to the bed, then to the couch, and back to the bed. Jesse removed his hat, setting it on the adjoining desk.
Well, I guess I'll take the couch then.
McCree said, removing his boots.
Nonsense. You can have the bed.
Hanzo, I insist.
Hanzo looked down. He didn't want to fight with McCree on the first day. He was already tired from asking people about the same picture over and over.
Very well.
Hanzo set his bags up and went to bed, as did Jesse. It was hard for them both to sleep. They were both keeping a secret from one another, but they didn't know that they were keeping the same secret. Hanzo woke up first, early. He went out onto the balcony of their room and watched the sunrise over the Shimada Palace. Pink petals floated through the air, landing on the ground like specks of dust, soft. Hanzo took a deep breath of the fresh air.
You're up early.
McCree said, walking up behind him. Hanzo was a bit frightened by the sudden presence of McCree, but turned to look at him softly.
I guess I could say the same for you.
Hanzo said, looking backwards towards the sunrise.
Well, I guess you ain't wrong. Hope you're in a better mood today,
Partner.
I almost said partner. Did I say partner? Well, I guess you ain't wrong. Hope you're in a better mood today, partner. Because we got a lot of questions to ask.
McCree positioned his hat perfectly on his messy hair and tipped it up to smirk at Hanzo.
Do that again. But
They both-
perfectly. Perfectly. I don't get the.
Perfect.
Was
Perfectly.
this actually written by an
Perfect.
11-year-old on meth?
McCree positioned his hat perfectly on his messy hair and tipped it up to smirk at Hanzo. They both got ready and headed down.
So you said you can get us into the Shimada Palace, right?
McCree asked. Hanzo frowned.
In a matter of speaking, yes. We will be using the back door.
Foreshadowing.
What?
Foreshadowing.
Well, I like the way you think, Hans, but can't you just walk in there?
Hanzo looked down sternly, staring at the cracks in the ground as they walked.
I've been in exile from my home for many years now.
McCree gasped.
Really? Why?
Hanzo gave a dismissive grunt.
This is one of those it's not your business conversation, Jesse.
Jesse nodded.
I got it. Must be a very painful memory. Of course, I don't know what happened, but one can relate to you, Hans.
Hanzo gave Jesse a sharp look.
We are nothing alike.
I don't know, partner. You and I ain't too different. I bet one day you'll see that.
They arrived at the palace. Hanzo motioned McCree to follow him around to the back of the palace. There was a small path leading down a set of stone stairs. The stairs led them underground to a gate. Hanzo opened the gate, McCree following behind.
Doesn't anyone live here anymore?
McCree asked.
No,
Then why are we going this way?
they keep guards out front, but I'm the only one who knows about this entrance. We could potentially stay here for the night if you wanted to.
I'm down, partner.
They wandered the palace garden. There was a small sitting area on the edge. Pink cherry blossom trees covered the garden. Pink petals decorated the ground. Hanzo walked up to the sitting area and sat down. He closed his eyes and crossed his legs, meditating silently.
What are you doing, Hans?
Hanzo took a deep breath, but didn't open his eyes.
I'm meditating.
I'm meditating.
Right, you said it
fool.
right.
Meditating.
I'm meditating,
right?
fool.
I'm meditating, fool.
I'm meditating.
Okay, hold on, let me try again.
I'm meditating.
I'm meditating, fool.
I'm
Be
meditating, fool.
silent.
Be silent. Go on, silly. Sorry.
I'm meditating, fool. I'm meditating, fool. Be silent.
Jesse held his hands up.
Jeez, alright. I'll leave you alone.
Thank you.
Jesse walked away, wandering the palace. He went into a large building that appeared to only have 2 rooms. In the back of the room was a tall wall with a painting on it. The painting was cut at the bottom and drenched in blood. Jesse attempted to touch the painting when Hanzo's voice startled him.
What are you doing here?
Hanzo asked sternly. Jesse quickly turned, grabbing his chest.
Jesus, partner. Don't scare me like that.
This room is only for meditation and to pay your respect to the deceased.
Jesse looked at the painting curiously.
Does it count if I want to know whose blood this is?
Hanzo looked down at the bottom of the painting. He swallowed hard.
No, McCree.
Hanzo walked past him and behind the wall into another meditation room. There were lines of pillows in the center of it. Hanzo looked down and saw a piece of paper lying on one of the pillows. McCree appeared behind him as he picked it up.
What's that?
McCree asked.
I am not sure.
Hanzo said, flipping the paper over. He looked at the text. He looked at it confused.
It is a letter of some kind. It's in Spanish. I cannot read it.
I don't know Spanish either, partner, but I bet my hat that this is a letter from Sombra. She must have been here recently.
Hanzo nodded and folded it up, tucking it away in his kimono.
I'll send it back to Overwatch to be translated. Until then, I'd like to look around for a while. I miss the place.
Okay, sure, Hans.
It got late. Hanzo went to his old room to sleep. McCree found a room next to his and slept there. Later into the night, Hanzo began rolling around in bed. He started to cry out to someone, anyone. He woke up, screaming. McCree heard him and rushed over. He threw the door aside and ran to the bed. Hanzo was yelling, crying in his hands. He looked up to see McCree. Jesse didn't know how to react. He had never seen Hanzo like this. It almost terrified him.
Hanzo?
Sorry.
My fucking god, Zoe.
Sorry, it's so
Where did
fucking
Haz go?
cringe. Sorry, okay, do it again.
Jesse,
Is
please.
Haz dead?
I need cook.
Yeah, he's not
I don't
talking.
My
Or his
bad.
mic was just fucking up.
My mic was fucked up. I've been laughing a lot.
Hanzo?
McCree, I'm scared. What a nightmare.
Hey, partner, it's okay.
Hanzo wrapped himself in his own arms and tucked his face into his knees, almost shivering on the bed.
Will you be alright?
Hanzo nodded a bit, tears streaming down his face. McCree nodded before exiting the room.
Wait, Jesse,
McCree stopped peering over his shoulder at the frightened Hanzo.
will you stay with me?
Jesse turned around and looked at Hanzo's mortified expression. He nodded, sitting beside the bed. He watched as Hanzo tried to go back to sleep. Something about Jesse's presence comforted him. McCree tried to make conversation before Hanzo drifted off.
Good thing I'm trained for stuff like this. No, he's not, though.
He is.
He's literally
he's not.
not.
He's a trained cowboy.
He's a trained cowboy.
He knows how to ride.
Good thing I'm trained for stuff like this.
Hanzo opened his eyes, tilting his head up curiously.
You talk about Reyes, don't you?
Raised.
Jesse nodded.
He was like the father I never had, but that was until he,
Jesse now looked sad at the ground, playing with his fingers over his knee.
I'm sorry to hear what happened to him.
Hanzo said.
The guy was getting old anyway.
McCree said, attempting to smile.
I understand what it feels like to lose a loved one, McCree.
Oh yeah? What are you lost?
Hanzo looked down and turned to the other side of McCree's view.
My brother.
Bro!
Okay, what the fuck is this?
that's-
Aha! How did he die? Come on. What the fuck?
Say it over.
Haha! How did he die?
Aha! How did he die? Like, come on.
Wait, let me try.
You
What
see,
the fuck?
no, Zelly, you did fine. Cassidy laughing at fucking Hanzo's trauma.
Just, how'd he die?
I don't like to talk about it.
McCree nodded.
Get your rest, partner. I'll be right here. Besides, we both need to be on high alert tomorrow if Sombra was here recently.
Hanzo couldn't think about why he was actually there. He could only think about his nightmares. Somehow McCree kept them away. He just wanted to think about that, not work.
McCree, I appreciate you doing this.
Hanzo said, stumbling on his words.
No problem.
Hanzo turned slightly, grinning, and closed his eyes. McCree watched him slowly drift into the dream world. He seemed more at peace, and Jesse noticed that. It made him grin. He too grew tired and fell to his side, slowly drifting asleep. The two slept several feet from each other, but could still feel the other's presence in the dream world.